You pack your suitcase for a cruise, thinking you have covered everything, and then security pulls you aside at the terminal. Your bag gets flagged, your bag gets opened, and an item you probably packed without thinking twice gets confiscated right in front of everyone in line behind you. Cruise lines have quietly tightened their banned items lists over the past few years, and most passengers have no idea until it costs them their favorite gadget, their vacation mood, or even their boarding time on the very first day of the trip they saved all year and worked hard for. 20 everyday items are now completely off limits on major cruise lines, and some of them are sitting in your suitcase right now without you even realizing it, tucked between your clothes like nothing is wrong at all. Stick around, because number one on this list surprises almost everyone, and it could be the difference between a smooth boarding and a ruined first day at sea. Before we get into the list, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because Senior Cruise Secrets posts new insider guides every week, and you do not want to miss the ones that could save your next trip from starting with an unnecessary headache. Number 20, electric scooters. Cruise lines classify these as a fire risk because of the large lithium battery packs inside, and most ships have no designated charging area that meets fire safety code, which means the item is refused before it ever reaches your cabin, no matter how small or foldable it appears at check-in. A retiree from Denver tried to bring a folding electric scooter through the terminal, hoping it would help her get around a large ship faster than walking, and it was confiscated on the spot and held in the ship's storage locker for the entire 7-night sailing. Here is what you do. Leave the electric scooter at home entirely, and if mobility is a concern, request a wheelchair or a manual folding cane from guest services once you board, since those are provided at no charge on most sailings and never trigger a screening issue. This rule applies whether you are sailing with a budget line or a luxury one, so do not assume a higher fare buys an exception. Number 19, personal Starlink systems and hotspot devices. These compact, battery-powered satellite units can interfere with the communication and navigation systems used by the ship, which is why security treats them as unauthorized equipment rather than a simple travel gadget, no matter how compact or new the unit looks in its case. A remote worker from Austin packed a portable Starlink Mini so he could keep working during the cruise without relying on paid internet, and it was pulled aside during screening and locked in the ship safe for the entire voyage while he scrambled to buy an internet package at full price. Here is what you do. Buy the internet package ahead of time online where the price runs lower, or plan your work calls around the port days when local cell service becomes available near shore. Screening staff are trained specifically to spot this device, so hiding it deeper in your luggage rarely works either. Number 18, butane torches. Any open flame device is treated as a serious fire hazard, and butane torches fall into that category even when they are small kitchen tools meant for something as simple as caramelizing sugar on a dessert. A home cook from Tampa packed a torch for her creme brulee kit, hoping to recreate a dessert she loved from a cooking class back home, and it was confiscated before she even reached the gangway, along with the small fuel canister packed beside it in the same bag. Here is what you do. Leave any torch, lighter refill, or flammable fuel canister at home, and if you love culinary demonstrations, ask the ship kitchen staff whether they run a hands-on class that supplies the equipment for you already. Even a compact travel version marketed as ship-safe, still gets pulled aside during the same inspection process. Number 17. Immersion water heaters and coil heaters. These small devices heat water fast, but they draw more power than cabin wiring is designed to handle, and they have caused actual cabin fires on past sailings, which is why every major line now bans them outright with no exceptions granted. A passenger from Ohio packed one to make tea in her room each morning, and it tripped a fire alarm in the middle of the night, triggering an evacuation drill for the entire deck, while confused passengers stood in the hallway in their pajamas near midnight. Here is what you do. Order hot water through room service at no charge, or bring an insulated travel mug and ask your steward to fill it from the buffet each morning, instead of packing your own heating device. Crew members say this is one of the more common surprises for first-time cruisers who never read the packing list closely. Number 16. Gas camping stoves. The propane or butane fuel inside makes these an automatic no on every cruise line, no exceptions and no warnings given at check-in, since fuel canisters are treated the same as any other hazardous material regardless of the brand or size. A family from Michigan packed a small camping stove, hoping to cook a favorite meal on their balcony as a surprise for their anniversary trip, and it was confiscated and destroyed under the ship hazardous materials policy, with no refund offered for the equipment they had just purchased. Here is what you do. Use the main dining room or order a picnic-style meal through the cruise line app, since most ships now offer a balcony dining option for a modest fee that beats the risk entirely. The same rule applies to nearly identical devices sold under different brand names, so checking the function matters more than the label. Number 15. Boxed wine and most outside alcohol. Cruise lines allow a limited number of bottled wine per stateroom, but boxed wine, liquor, and beer brought from home almost always get confiscated at the terminal, regardless of how it is packed, wrapped, or hidden inside other items. A couple from San Diego packed boxed wine to save money on their anniversary cruise, thinking the box would slip past inspection more easily than glass bottles, and it was taken away with no refund, leaving them without their planned toast on the first night of the trip. Here is what you do. Check your specific cruise line alcohol policy before you pack, since most allow 2 bottles of wine per cabin, and be ready to pay a corkage fee if you open it anywhere outside your own stateroom. Many passengers only learn about this restriction after arriving at the terminal, since it rarely appears in the confirmation email. Number 14. Portable generators. Fuel-powered generators are banned for fire and carbon monoxide risk. Even the small camping-style units sold specifically for emergency backup power at home during storms. A passenger from Florida tried to bring one as backup power for a CPAP machine during overnight power fluctuations he worried about, and it was confiscated, leaving him to rely on the ship medical center for an outlet solution during the first uncomfortable night on board. Here is what you do. Contact the cruise line special needs department weeks before sailing to arrange medical equipment power access and request an accessible cabin with extra outlets positioned near the bed for exactly this reason. Some lines will store the item until disembarkation instead of destroying it, but you should never count on getting it back in working condition. Number 13. Walkie-talkies and two-way radios. These devices can interfere with the internal communication frequencies used by the crew, which is why most lines restrict or confiscate them during screening, even when they seem completely harmless for keeping a family connected around a large ship. A family from Georgia packed radios to track their kids around the ship, feeling confident it would prevent anyone from getting lost during a busy sea day. And after the devices were taken away, a mix-up led to an anxious hour of searching for a missing teenager near the pool deck. Here is what you do. Use the ship-free messaging app instead, which runs over the onboard Wi-Fi and lets your whole group stay in touch without any extra equipment or confiscation risk at all. This restriction tends to catch experienced cruisers off guard just as often as first-timers, since the rule has changed more than once. Number 12. Hoverboards. These have been banned across nearly every major cruise line since 2016, after several battery-related fires made national headlines and forced an industry-wide policy change almost overnight across every fleet. A teenager from Las Vegas hid a hoverboard in the bottom of a suitcase, hoping it would slide past inspection, unnoticed the way it always had at the airport, and once it was discovered during screening, the family was warned that a second attempt could result in the entire group being denied boarding for the trip. Here is what you do. Leave hoverboards and self-balancing boards home completely, and if the specific line you are sailing allows it, look into renting a folding scooter once you reach port instead of packing your own. If you are unsure whether an item you own falls into this category, it is always safer to check the cruise line website before you pack it. Number 11. Coffee makers, including pod machines, single-serve brewers, and electric French presses. Any device with an exposed heating element is treated as a fire risk under the cabin electrical rules, which surprises a lot of coffee lovers who assume a small kitchen appliance would be completely harmless in a hotel-style room. A passenger from Seattle packed a personal pod brewer for her morning routine, unwilling to rely on ship coffee for a full week of sailing, and it was confiscated at the terminal, forcing her to pay for specialty coffee at the cafe every single day of the cruise. Here is what you do. Order a coffee card package before you sail, or simply ask room service for a carafe delivered fresh to your cabin each morning at no extra charge to you. Family groups traveling together are especially likely to run into this one simply because more bags means more chances for something to get flagged. Number 10. Candles and wax melters. Any open flame or heating element used for scent is banned in every cabin, and staff inspect even flameless battery candles closely before allowing them on board, since the rule covers the appearance of an open flame just as much as an actual one burning. A passenger from Nashville packed a scented candle for relaxation before bed, a habit she relies on at home every single night, and it was confiscated, with her steward explaining that only certain plug-in devices from an approved list are allowed inside staterooms. Here is what you do. Bring a plug-in essential oil diffuser that appears on your cruise line approved device list, and check that list on the cruise line website before you even start packing your bag. This is one of the rules that varies slightly by cruise line, so it is worth a quick check if you are sailing with a smaller or newer company. Number 9. Multi-plug outlet extenders and surge protectors. Any power strip with built-in surge protection is banned for fire safety, and only non-surge protected strips are allowed on board, a distinction most passengers have never heard of before their first cruise ever. A passenger from Chicago packed a common outlet extender from home without checking the fine print on the label, and it was confiscated at the terminal, forcing her to buy an approved strip from the ship gift shop at nearly triple the usual price on land. Here is what you do. Buy a cruise-approved power strip labeled with no surge protection before your trip, since that single label makes all the difference the moment you reach screening. Coffee is one of the most requested amenities on board, which is exactly why cruise lines have built several allowed alternatives into their service. Number 8. Electric heating pads. These carry the same heating element restriction as coffee makers and blankets, and they are pulled during screening more often than passengers expect, even the small, travel-sized models marketed for sore muscles and stiff joints. A senior from Phoenix relied on a heating pad for arthritis pain every evening before bed at home, and once it was confiscated, she spent the week using hot towels from the spa instead, which helped a little but never as much as her own device from home. Here is what you do. Request a hot water bottle from the medical center for pain relief, and pack warm compression layers as a simple, fully allowed backup plan. Number 7. Drones. Flying a drone near the ship raises both safety and privacy concerns for other passengers on nearby balconies, so most lines confiscate any drone found in checked or carry-on luggage without exception, regardless of the model or size. A photographer from Denver packed a small drone hoping to film the sail-away moment for his travel page, confident it would only fly for a few minutes near open water, and it was confiscated and locked in the ship safe for the entire cruise, costing him the footage he had planned around for months. Here is what you do. Hire the ship professional photographer for aerial-style shots during port stops, or research local drone laws if you want footage while you are safely on land instead. This restriction is rarely advertised clearly during booking, which is part of why so many passengers only discover it while standing in line. Number 6. Electric blankets. These carry a heating element and fire hazard restriction across nearly every cruise line, regardless of wattage, safety certification, or how new the blanket happens to be when you pack it. A couple from Minneapolis packed a travel electric blanket for a cold weather itinerary through the northern coastline, expecting chilly nights on deck and in the cabin, and it was confiscated, leaving them layering regular blankets from the cabin closet during the coldest nights at sea. Here is what you do. Ask your steward for extra wool blankets on the first day of the cruise, and pack warm pajamas and thick socks as a reliable, fully allowed backup plan. The good news is that the approved alternative usually costs very little compared to what you already planned on spending. Number 5. Bluetooth speakers. These are not banned outright, but they are heavily restricted in shared spaces, like the pool, deck, and balcony, because of repeated noise complaints from neighboring cabins over the years on nearly every line. A passenger from Miami played music from a portable speaker on his balcony most evenings during the trip, not realizing how far sound carries over open water at night, and after a complaint from the cabin next door, security confiscated it for the rest of the sailing following a second warning. Here is what you do. Use headphones or earbuds in shared spaces, and save speaker use for private events booked in designated onboard venues where it is actually welcome and expected. This one trips up passengers with health conditions more than anyone else, since the device often feels medically necessary rather than optional. Number 4. Travel Wi-Fi routers. Personal routers and signal boosters interfere with the network run by the ship itself, so security treats them the same as unauthorized communication equipment rather than a simple personal convenience item you brought from home. A remote worker from Boston packed a travel router hoping to boost his cabin signal for video calls during a working vacation with his family, and it was confiscated at security, forcing him to buy the premium internet package at full price instead of the discount he had planned around. Here is what you do. Buy the internet package online well in advance where prices run lower, and request a cabin near a Wi-Fi access point if you plan to work remotely during the sailing. Passengers who travel specifically to capture content for social media are hit by this rule the hardest since it affects the entire trip. Number 3, portable air conditioners. These draw far more power than cabin wiring is built for and pose a real overheating risk, which is why they are banned on virtually every major line without exception, even the small personal desk-sized units. A passenger from Houston packed a small portable AC unit for a warmer cabin on a summer sailing through tropical waters, and it was confiscated, leaving him to file a complaint at guest services and request the same thermostat unlock fix that many seasoned cruisers already know about. Here is what you do. Request your cabin thermostat unlocked at guest services on your first day on board, and mention any temperature sensitivity in writing before you even step onto the ship. Northern and colder weather itineraries see this issue far more often than warm weather Caribbean sailings, simply due to passenger expectations. Number 2, power banks over airline limits. Cruise lines mirror the same lithium battery restrictions used by airlines, so anything over 100 watt-hours gets confiscated at cruise security, even if the very same power bank flew with you on the plane without a single issue days earlier. A traveler from Orlando packed a large capacity power bank for his camera gear on a photography-focused trip around several ports, and it was confiscated at the terminal because it exceeded the watt-hour limit printed in tiny letters on the side, costing him days of backup charging for his equipment. Here is what you do. Check the watt-hour rating printed on your power bank before you pack, keep anything under 100 in your carry-on bag, and leave the oversized ones at home entirely. This rule is enforced more strictly after dark, when sound carries further across open water and more passengers are trying to sleep. Number 1, clothes steamers. This is the item that catches more passengers off guard than anything else on this list, because the heating element combined with the water reservoir makes it one of the most commonly confiscated small appliances on every major cruise line today, far more often than most people would ever guess. A passenger from Dallas packed a travel steamer to freshen up her formal night outfits before a big anniversary dinner she had been planning for months, and it was confiscated at the terminal along with several other steamers, taken from passengers standing in the very same line that morning. Here is what you do. Pack a wrinkle release spray instead, and hang your formal outfits in the bathroom during a hot shower the night before formal night to steam the wrinkles out naturally, without any banned equipment at all. Remote workers make up a growing share of cruise passengers, which is exactly why this restriction catches so many people by surprise now. 20 items down, and if even 3 of these were sitting in your suitcase before this video, you just saved yourself a real headache at the terminal on your very next sailing, whenever that trip happens to be. Cruise lines update these rules more often than most passengers realize, and packing the wrong item can turn a smooth boarding into a long conversation with security while everyone behind you watches and waits their turn. Save this video, share it with anyone sailing soon, and subscribe to Senior Cruise Secrets so the next rule change never catches you off guard again. before a trip you have been looking forward to for a very long time. Next time, we are covering the 10 packing mistakes that get first-time cruisers stopped at security before they even reach the gangway. And one of them is probably folded in your suitcase right now. Most passengers assume packing mistakes only cost a few minutes of embarrassment, but some of them can delay boarding for the entire family, standing behind you in line. See you all there.